Hello and welcome to the pre-workshop video where we'll be giving you a taster of the upcoming workshop entitled Towards a Shared Understanding of Digital Social Protection. What are the lessons from the COVID-19 crisis in Africa and the implications for the future? The purpose of this workshop is to exchange lessons learned between countries in Africa and reflect on the use of digital solutions to register and enroll people into social protection programs as a response to COVID-19 and beyond. This event will be supported by GIZ on behalf of the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, the BMZ, as well as the African Union Commission and the World Bank. My name is Alexandra Doyle, and I am a consultant at Oxford Policy Management in the Poverty and Social Protection practice based in Oxford in the UK. And today I'm joined by the moderator for our workshop, Valentina Barca, a digital social protection specialist. So Valentina, why are we interested in learning from the use of innovative digital approaches that countries adopted to register and enroll people for social protection support during the COVID-19 crisis?
So as you all know, each and every country in Africa adopted at least one social protection measure to assist people affected by the pandemic, and most countries implemented several. This massive use of social protection in response to a large-scale crisis is unprecedented. Now, the unique conditions in terms of mobility restrictions and social distancing and the number of people affected, and obviously the need to act quickly and do whatever it takes, posed a major challenge to social protection systems. This led to interesting digital innovations, particularly in terms of registering previously uncovered caseloads by social assistants. These innovations were based on existing capacity, for instance, what was feasible within a very short time frame. And in this sense, existing information systems and databases played a crucial role. Some of these innovations were designed to be temporary, while others may actually change the way we implement social protection programs. They have many positive aspects, but also risks and challenges. It is therefore crucial to learn from these experiences and to critically reflect on the role of digital mechanisms in the future of social protection.
And what are the main trends emerging from the region in terms of digital approaches to registration and enrollment of new people during COVID-19?
So, as we were saying, in the absence of strong social insurance in low and middle income countries, the need to swiftly extend coverage to those who were not previously beneficiaries of social assistance programs led to important digital innovations. So let's start from the use of existing data and information systems from the social protection sector. One global trend was the use of data on potential beneficiaries from social registries in countries where these existed. Social registries have information on the socioeconomic characteristics of households and can be a valuable source of information for rapid responses by raising routine thresholds for eligibility. While this was much more common in other regions, in Latin America most notably, Cape Verde, Lesotho, and Egypt, for example, leveraged data on potential beneficiaries from their social registries to inform beneficiary lists for COVID-19 response, often complemented by other approaches. Program registries of beneficiaries also played a role, not only enabling vertical expansions to current beneficiaries, but also enabling expansion to past beneficiaries or those on waiting lists, such as in Zambia. In Morocco, health insurance data was used. So if you take a look at this graph, it shows you regional trends around extending coverage. And you can see that the prevalence of these different approaches, and you can see the number of countries where these types of sources from existing social protection data was used. Now, of course, leveraging existing social protection data systems like this can facilitate rapid responses, but also has an intrinsic limitation of covering people who are already in the system. And informal workers, for example, were mostly excluded. There are also preconditions regarding data quality. So for instance, for it to be of use, the data should be recent, it should be relevant, it should cover a high percentage of the affected population, it should be accessible, trusted, and secure. So understandably, not all countries felt confident that their social protection information systems ticked all of these boxes. For example, many countries in the region lack comprehensive and especially inclusive social registries. So as a result, several countries established other mechanisms to collect data or complemented existing data with new outreach and registration efforts. The most interesting innovation from this perspective was the use of on-demand digital mass registration mechanisms, alongside data exchange with a wide number of databases from beyond the social protection sector, enabled by some form of ID. Take the examples of South Africa and Namibia, where large segments of the populations were registered within weeks by digital tools, including submissions through SMS, USSD, WhatsApp, emails, and website, with data that was cross-checked against a wide number of government registries, including civil registration, tax, civil servant payroll, social security, and so forth. Or the example of Togo that we'll be discussing at the workshop. Now, such approaches, of course, require high capacity to authenticate applicants and degree of interoperability between systems, something that remains a challenge across most countries in the region. Yet it's becoming a crucial element and digital enabler for a systematic social protection response moving forwards, especially where there is sufficient digital literacy and access. So this next slide shows you some regional trends again, and well, you can see the number of countries that went forward with new enrollment campaigns. And if you click again, we can see how these were operationalized in practice. In many other countries, more traditional approaches to registration were taken via census door-to-door data collection. And what's interesting is that we've seen digital innovation here as well in terms of prioritizing areas for coverage via satellite imagery and other data-informed approaches. So there's been a lot happening. Finally, it's important to stress most countries in the region combined different strategies, these strategies that we've been discussing. So they used their social registries, they drew on other databases, they applied digital and non-digital mechanisms for new registrations. They sequenced these steps based on their capacities. That's why we'll be critically discussing these at the workshop, and each of these topics maps to one of the sessions.
Thanks. Now looking ahead to the workshop, we're going to focus on the implications of these experiences and the lessons for the future of social protection. What aspects should participants take into account when reflecting about how their experiences in their countries can affect the use of digital technologies in the future?
So to keep it short, in particular, it's important to reflect on the sustainability of these different digital innovations, bearing in mind that many of these strategies are just pieces of a larger puzzle within a country's digital infrastructure and ecosystem. So this is an opportunity for us to reflect on the risks of exclusion, on data security and privacy, on the quality of the data that we collect and what that all means going forwards.
Thanks so much for the comprehensive introduction, Valentina. The link shown on the screen now, which is also available on the event's registration page on socialprotection.org, can be used to submit any questions that you would like addressed at the workshop. In preparation for the workshop, we encourage you to reflect on the questions on the screen and share your thoughts using the link below. We look forward to seeing you on the 15th and 16th of November at 12 p.m. East African time on both days. All the details about the event, including the agenda and timings, can be found on the event registration page on socialprotection.org. Thanks for your attention and see you on the 15th.